This is the first half of my AC2 playthrough. Enjoy.
Spingi! Spingi! Di nuovo! Sì, sì, brava! It is a boy.
Give him here. Tu sei un uditore. Sei un combattente. Perciò, combatti.
This scene shows us that not even infants are free from Assassin's Creed tutorials, which is a nice welcome back. Desmond gets booted out of the Animus immediately, and we watch some Templars get it handed to them. Well, more specifically, Abstergo Templar. Then we go beat up some Templars of our own.
Get in.
We meet our new crew after a long car ride. After that, Desmond hops into the life of his newfound ancestor. We join him right as he's about to get into a fight with a rival family.
Buonasera, Vieri. We were just talking about you.
It's your family that cries for guards when there's trouble. Cotardo. Afraid to handle things yourself?
Your sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling I gave her earlier.
Yo, that hit the wrong side of his face.
Get to the first combat section where we can tell this is a massive improvement from the first game. Especially the new animation. Even though these games weren't released too far apart, you can tell there's a big difference. We meet one of Ezio's siblings who joins us in the fight. We defeat Vieri as he runs up, and we're about to get hit with the killer title card.
It is a good life we lead, brother.
The best. May it never change.
And may it never change us.
And it immediately gets followed up with the first leap of faith.
So it's Vieri. I better hide.
Ezio meets up with Christina, who gets forgotten about until the next game, despite being presumably his main love interest. We meet Ezio's father and he asks us to deliver some messages. First bit of proper parkour in this game, and already, once again, this system's improved since the first. It moves a lot smoother and just feels nicer in general. We meet up with a truly respectable man who will do nothing wrong. Then we get introduced to someone much more important, Leonardo da Vinci himself, best character in this game. Ezio hits a somehow survivable leap of faith. This leap was much less survivable, but don't worry, we'll get right back to the good stuff. One after the other, seemingly non-stop. I might have jumped off of every building in Florence, but no surprise when it's Ezio we're talking about. We meet with his father once more and we're told to deliver some packages. We meet with an eccentric group of people that work with Giovanni, and we retrieve a letter from a pigeon. All just to return to our home where we find out most of our family's missing. But luckily our mother and sister are safe. So we go to visit our father in prison, and he wants us to deliver a letter to that Uberti guy from earlier. But before we do that, we gotta hit a leap of faith out of the cutscene. Ezio gets kitted with a fresh fit. He then takes out some guards with the first instance of sword combat. We give Uberti the letter, which is evidence supporting our family, which he doesn't use and instead executes our family. We make ourselves known and fail to fight off the guards. To commemorate our loss, we had a leap of faith. We go to a brothel where our mother and sister are being kept safe at, and we meet the lady who runs it, Paola. We practice some social stealth with both non-moving and moving crowds, and we also practice some stealing. Then some more parkour. I have way more salvageable sequences than in the first game. Most of them I don't show, but still. Then we perform even more. I thought the last one was one after the other, but this is definitely more fitting for that description. Like, what was I doing? It was just the same thing, just going around the town doing all of these. No filler. We meet with our boy Leonardo again, and he fixes up our blade. Not just any blade, but a hidden one. We help Leonardo out with it. We head back to speak with Paola before going after Uberti. So we go to quickly take him out. And why is it always the first target that has the brutal cutscene?
He went for it.
You would have done the same to save the ones you love.
Yes, I would. And I have.
I can't lie, that line was absolutely fire.
The Auditori are not dead! I'm still here! Me! Ezio! Ezio Auditore!
I have no clue why he just sort of alerted everyone of his presence, but I guess it happens. So we head back to rejoin with our sister and mother, and bring them to safety at our uncle's home. Along the way, we have a run-in with Vieri.
What will happen now that there's...
Gee,
He gets interrupted by his troops being swept down, and then he drops the Altair line.
What sorcery is this?
We meet up with our uncle, and Vieri runs away.
no one left though.
So we mow down some more of his troops.
There we go. Oh, never mind. There we go.
I think we should all take a moment to brace ourselves, because we are about to get hit with the most unnecessary line.
Do I know you from somewhere?
Don't you recognize me? It's a me, Mario!
Just like a quick question, who greenlit that? Reason to believe we want to leave, but instead Uncle Mario gets upset about it. We find out why is because Vieira has been attacking, so we go to assist him. And just when you thought you were safe, there's more leaps of faith. But here we get a closer look to the Patsy family and Templars as a whole, after we sneak up the tower and end Vieri.
That was pretty sweet, actually.
What are you and your allies planning? Is this what my father discovered? Is this why he was killed?
I'm sorry. Were you hoping for a confession?
Pezzo di merda! Vorrei solo che avessi sofferto di più! Hai avuto la fine che meritavi! Spero che
Enough, Ezio! Show some respect.
Respect? After all that's happened, do you think he would have shown either of us such kindness?
You are not Fieri. Do not become him.
Then we celebrate, which I feel there was a great lack of in the first game.
Hey, Ezio! I see you've wasted no time starting the celebration.
And why not?
Ezio then gets introduced to the Assassin Sanctuary, and there he is, our main boy from the first game. We find out that Altair is remembered as this legend, which makes sense, but our real main boy is obviously Leonardo, who we apparently haven't seen in 2 years. But we have him decipher a codex page and we practice our new assassination techniques.
There we go.
Those greatly beat AC1 where it's mostly just the same technique. We go to meet up with this guy Lavope, but our coin pouch gets stolen. Ezio swiftly puts an end to it, but then we teleport apparently.
This is not where I was supposed to catch up to him, man.
But here's Lavope right behind us.
What do you want? Who are you?
They call me many things. Murderer, tagliagole, thief. But you may call me La Volpe. At your service, Messer Ezio.
We should stop jumping off buildings in response. But now we go to eavesdrop on the Templars. We first look around so that nobody sees, then we give the skull a good time, which lets us sneak in through the church, where we get some parkour done and do an underground leap of faith.
That was narrow.
Then we fail to try out one of those new assassination techniques. Then we get another kill and some parkour. This guy didn't even see it coming. This guy especially didn't. And neither did he. Then we eavesdrop and find out that the Templars are planning an attack on the Medici. And here he goes again, Ezio's a born natural at this. But anyways, we find one of the assassin emblems needed to unlock Altair's armor. We then witness the attack on the Medici, which is another greatly gruesome scene. They really kicked it up in between games.
Giuliano, no!
But it seems that Templar killing methods haven't changed too much. He pulled that one straight off Tamir's book. We save Lorenzo from the attackers without getting the kill on Francesco, and after we bring him to the safety of his guards, he asks us to help defend the city. So instead we get distracted with leaps of faith. I don't know if I'm necessarily cut out for the assassin life if this keeps happening. Like, I think this might be a bit more urgent than a few sync points. But anyways, let's get back to business. Francesco copies what we did for the past few minutes and jumps off into a hay bale. And any excuse to do the same is welcome. But we quickly catch up and only leave one member of the Patsy remaining.
It's a bit off, but you get the point.
Now Firenze will judge you for what you've done.
It's over. It's all over.
Meglio essere felici in questa vita che aspirare a esserlo nella prossima. Requiescat in pace.
Which then Francesco gets hung post-death. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure I can show that, but we'll find out. But there are more important matters to attend to, like meeting back up with Leonardo. Let's go! We stop to talk with Uncle Mario about our plan to go after Jacopo. Then once we get there, we hit a leap of faith and kill one of the co-conspirators.
There we go.
We'll see who was right.
Where is Jacopo?
Nothing to fear, I suppose. They meet in the shadow of the Roman gods.
Ora sei libero dalla paura. Requiescat in pace.
Eagle Screech. Another one. Then we kill another person involved.
Spouting nonsense while you send these other men to die. Where is Jacopo?
He knows you come for him, emerging only in darkness to meet with the others.
That answers when. Now tell me where. Fede dovrebbe dare conforto, non pena. Requiescat in pace.
We take a bit to explore the countryside, from one hay bale to the next. Maybe I should stop including all of these. And here's another assassination.
I knew you would come.
Where is Jacopo?
So you can do to him what you've done to me?
There is still time for you to clear your conscience.
We gather at the church when a meeting is called.
Mi duole dover giungere a tanto. Requiescat in pace.
Then we head into town jumping off of buildings, which we thought this guy should do the same.
That work or no?
Away with you,
It did.
Have some respect for death, my friend. I'll show you respect. No, I will. Che tu possa al fine trovare riposo, nel corpo e nella mente. Requiescat in pace.
And here's Jacopo. And now not so much. But apparently the Templars knew we would be here, so we deal with the guards and put Jacopo out of his misery.
Vai, amico. Libero da fardelli e paure. Requiescat in pace.
And here he is again, Da Vinci heading for Venice, with a flying machine in the back of his wagon. But we go to drive into Forlì when we get ambushed. And we just drive over this flaming bridge like it's nobody's business. We leave the wagon and let Da Vinci go about his way. Then when we get to Forlì, we leap of faith all around the place. Hopefully Leonardo waits for us while we are getting majorly sidetracked. Discover nearly all of Forlì here. Tall and smaller buildings alike. In order to get on the ship to Venice, we help a noblewoman out.
He won't trouble you anymore. I took care of it.
We talk to Da Vinci about her and find out that is the wife of the man who runs the city. Apparently prolonged exposure to the animus can have side effects. I wish I knew that sooner. Preferably before I started seeing things.
Lucy? I'm seeing things.
Some proper Desmond action is... Oh, never mind. Alright, so here we go. So as I was saying, some proper Desmond action is always welcome. But if that wasn't enough, we see more Templars and re-enter the life of Altair.
Makes enough sense.
That lady we were chasing was the same that roleplayed as Desab, who is also a Templar, and also happens to be an ancestor of Desmond. I feel like Altair's got a false sense of judgment here. Then we had our first and only leap of faith as Altair, but instead we don't follow him and look inward towards the womb. Then we hop back into the Animus and welcome ourselves to Venice. Sorry about this being only half the game, but aside from that, have a nice day. Yeah, this is filler audio. I need some audio to fill.